be doing my first impressions on this pack. I usually do first impressions on all my packs, so I decided I was debating doing it, or whether or not I was going to do it, but I decided I will do it on this one, just because this is a really good pack. So first off, I want to apologize for any of the background noise you hear. That's my neighbors doing something. I have no control over that. So anyway, sorry for that, but this is the CamelBak Linchpin, as I probably just said. I've taken it out on one outing, and so far it is a really nice pack, pretty comfortable. I'll be getting into two of the big problems with this pack that it has, and what most people don't like about it, and what I don't like about it. But other than that, those two problems, it is a very nice pack. I got mine in Coyote Tan, as you can see. I get most of my gear in Coyote Tan nowadays. I like it. It seems to be just the best overall multi-use, like year-round. It's not really, at least here in Alaska, discriminatory to any particular season. It blends in okay in every season, but especially spring and fall. And fall is when I do most hunting, and that's when most hunting is conducted. So that's why I generally go with Coyote in most of my gear. So besides the whole Coyote Tan thing, it's a little bit bigger than I was anticipating. When I got this, I was like, wow, this is a really big pack, or bigger than I was expecting pack, at least. I mean, I guess I could have technically looked up the dimensions, and the dimensions are, it is 19 by something, 19 by 17 by 14, that's what it is. So it's a pretty big pack, and you can definitely tell when you actually look at it, or I don't know if my camera's doing any justice here to actually show the size of it, but I find on all the other YouTube videos that I watched of people showing this pack, it just didn't seem as big as when you get in person. But anyways, it definitely carries all the gear, and like I said in my other kit video, the reason why I got this pack was not only because I like this pack, and I've liked this pack for a long time, but I did need a larger pack to carry the DSLR, the lenses, the Roam 2, the tripod rather, not the bipod. Just all my camera equipment, and while the Blowfish was enough to carry most of that equipment, I couldn't get the DSLR, the 2 lenses, and some other stuff that I'm planning to get for it in that backpack. So I had to upgrade backpacks as well. So other than that, the two big problems with this, and the first one's not really a problem I have with it, but a problem that some people may have with it, and that is that there is no MOLLE attachments on it, which I said that's not a problem for me because I don't run a lot of MOLLE, and so I would never be having any problems with MOLLE incompatibility or not being able to run all my tactical gear on it. So like I was saying, no MOLLE, that can be a problem, and in hindsight it is kind of a problem because this is supposed to be a military pack meant for the troops, which they do have MOLLE setups, and they may depend heavily on MOLLE. So the fact that there is no MOLLE can be a downside to any military people, but once again, I'm a bushcrafter, so that's not a big problem for me. Anyways, the problem that I do have with this pack, and one that is another complaint that I don't really hear, which is kind of surprising, is that this pack does not come with any hip belt, which I've kind of jury-rigged this to have a hip belt. This is the Blowfish belt, and this is the setup I have it on. So I've jury-rigged it to this, but it does not stock come with anything, and I've talked to CamelBak. They do not make anything or any belts for this, although as you can see where this Paracord's hanging off, they do make this, which you can tie in to make or jury-rig a belt onto this. So they kind of make it accessible for it, but ironically they don't make anything to fit on it. So that's kind of a bummer, but like I said, I did jury-rig this on there just because I needed a belt, because I have this pack usually loaded to around 20 to 23 pounds, and This pack, kind of weirdly, it feels a lot more than the actual weight. It feels like it's 30 pounds when it's at 20 pounds. So it feels like it's a lot more on your shoulders than it actually is. So I found the necessity for a belt to be higher on this pack than, say, my Blowfish or my other packs. So that, once again, is kind of a little weird that they wouldn't have at least an option to get something aftermarket. But that's probably a big problem for me, or well, is a big problem, but I was able to resolve it. So those are the two problems. I still think this pack, regardless to either of those problems, I still think this pack's great as long as you can take care of this problem, or at least that was my thing. Is once I took care of the belt problem, and this does work for me. I'm not sure if this will work for you. I can't say this will, but it works for me. And once I got this to work, I love this pack a lot. It's plenty tough. I believe it's a 500D nylon, which a lot of people love 1000 denier, like Maxpedition puts out. And 1000 denier is, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's also nothing wrong with 500. 500's plenty strong for any realistic need. Plus 500's a lot softer and a lot less abrasive to the feel, and that's kind of nice to have with this pack, where this pack might be rubbing up against you. It's nice to have that 500 denier instead of that 1000, because that 1000 will really hurt if it's rubbing up against you for any extended period of time, which I have felt with the straps on Maxpeditions, riding up on my neck a little bit. It definitely hurts. So not a big problem, but I do like 500 denier more than 1000 denier. But overall, this is a really awesome pack. I would recommend it so far. Like I said, I haven't had a whole lot of use with it. It's only been on one outing, but that was a pretty extensive outing. So I was carrying this non-stop for at least 3 hours before I set it down. And with this hip belt, it felt pretty good. Not as comfortable as the Blowfish, but still pretty good, and I could probably carry it for at least 5 hours non-stop. So anyways, great pack. I do recommend it, and I'm out.